Hello, good morning. I'm Peter Franke at Franke de la Fuente Abogados. Today I am in our new, very nice office in Estepona, the beautiful city of Estepona. And welcome to this video presentation of the purchase process of buying a property in Spain. We want to do these videos because we know that the experience of buying a property in Spain is quite different from what you probably are used to in your home country. So we would like to explain all the different steps involved in a chronological order, and hopefully that will be very useful for you and make the process and maybe also the decision easier for you. Let's start from the very beginning. You're thinking about buying a property in Spain. So maybe you're at home scrolling through websites, Googling through different portals. Maybe you're already in touch with a local real estate agent, talking to friends, gathering information about the process. Then at some point, you might actually make the decision from home. That's quite common nowadays. But most of the time, you're actually traveling down to Spain, and you are then assisted by a real estate agent, and you're out there doing viewings. Now, most of the time, the lawyer, us, are usually introduced when an offer has been made, or maybe even you already signed a contract. We think that it can be quite useful and helpful for you if you involve us in an earlier stage, because there can be questions about the legal situation, about a certain property. You might have questions about taxes, or just or mortgages, or anything about the process itself. So don't hesitate to call us during that time, because I think it can be quite helpful for you. And we are available, of course, so don't hesitate to call. To put it very simple, the purchase process of buying a property in Spain can be divided into 3 steps. It's the reservation contract, it's the private purchase contract, and it's the signature of the title deeds. And that is when you become the owner of the property. All right, so these are the 3 basic steps in the purchase process. Let's now talk about the price. Well, it depends on what you're buying. If you're buying a new promotion, a new development, so new property, usually the prices are fixed and they are non-negotiable. But if you're looking at resale properties, there might be some room for negotiation, and your broker will assist you in this process. All right, so you have determined a price. A price has been agreed between you and the seller. Sometimes there are also other facts or conditions that you want to bring into the transaction. It can be that you want to discuss the furniture. Are they included or not? Do you want to have the right to perform a technical inspection of the property? Do you need a mortgage to buy this property? Obligations for the seller or the buyer. So make sure that you discuss all of these conditions with your broker and of course with the seller, so that everything is clear before you commit fully to the transaction. All right, so you have agreed to price. Maybe you have included special conditions. You've spoken about this with your broker and the seller. Everything is agreed. What is the next step? The next step is to draft and sign the reservation contract, as I mentioned before. What is the purpose of the reservation contract? Usually it always includes a clause saying that the seller can't sell to anyone else. The property is reserved for you. So it's a commitment for the seller and the buyer. And the commitment for you, the buyer, is to transfer a deposit. And transfer this deposit to a neutral account. Remember this, don't transfer the deposit to the seller. It should be in an escrow account. So it can be in the account of your lawyer, it can be in the account of the seller's lawyer, or any neutral part in the transaction, but not to the seller. That is our advice. Make sure that you state the price correctly and all other terms for the purchase. And also, the reservation contract usually includes a timeline for the transaction, meaning the date when the private purchase contract is to be signed, and also the date for the completion, so when you become the owner. To summarize, the reservation contract: the seller can't sell to anyone else. You transfer a deposit to a neutral account. You set a timeline for the transaction, and you include all the special conditions already in the reservation contract. What is the next step? Well, now it's time for your lawyer to start working. We gather all the information about this property. We do a research about this property, and we call it the due diligence of the property, because we need to make sure that there are no issues with the property that you want to buy. Then it's time for the private purchase contract. This includes all the rights and all the obligations between you and the seller. And at this point, you transfer what we in Spain call the arras. That is the down payment, that is a deposit. And this becomes non-refundable, usually, if you don't commit in the end to the transaction. If you don't follow up and you don't sign the title deed, then it becomes non-refundable. So we have two contracts signed. We have the reservation contract signed. We have the private purchase contract signed. We have the arras transferred to the seller. What else do we do as your lawyers? Well, we also take care of some administrative tasks. We help you with the NIE number to apply for that. We help you with opening of bank accounts here in Spain. We apply for the digital certificate and other things that you might need. Okay, we're getting closer. You're soon to become owner of a new property in Spain. What is the last step? Remember, reservation contract, private purchase contract. Now it's time for the signature of the title deed. The title deed is a document that includes all the information about the property. Now it's drafted. We as your lawyers will go through it thoroughly and check everything. And at the notary, it's signed. It can be signed either by you, but most of the time it's actually signed by your lawyer with the power of attorney. That means that you don't have to travel to Spain to become the owner of your new property. We can do it for you. Congratulations! You are now owner of a new property in Spain. We have fulfilled the 3 steps: the reservation contract, the private purchase contract, and completion. But our job is not quite finished. The file is here, you're the owner, but it's now given to our post-sale department because there are still a few things that we need to help you with. We need to help you with the supplies. So it's new contracts for electricity and for water. We also need to register you as the new owner in the Spanish land registry. All included, this part of the process usually takes 5 to 6 weeks. Then, case is closed. We will send to you a digital file with all the important documents about your property, and you're also welcome to come to our office for the physical file. You will meet your lawyer there, and we will go through all the documents with you if you have any questions. So, the purchase process is now completed. All the legal and all the administrative tasks have been performed. But as a property owner in Spain, you are obliged to file certain tax forms to the tax office. Either if you're a resident in Spain or a non-resident in Spain. Maybe you bought your property through a company. Maybe you're renting out your property. We have a tax department. This means that you will be obliged to file certain tax forms. That is why the file in our law firm will be transferred and taken over by our tax department. And they will contact you and they will be able to help you with any tax-related questions.